I am the Esperanza 243. You are here to listen and or watch me read a book aloud. A book that I have written. A book I call Musketeer Power. This is part 5. Hi everyone, I am the Esperanza 243. We are reading the end of chapter 4 and chapter 5. I am so looking forward to this. I'm really glad I did this recording. I've been really procrastinating it. I honestly don't know why, because I love reading this book to you guys. If you didn't watch my previous vlog, I am actually, I've been considering of activating the fan funding button, for you guys to donate and all, but I think that might be too soon. I think I'd rather have, at least more than 300 subscribers in order to do that. I know most people activate that when they have 1,000, but I'd love to do that, but that'd be a super long wait, and I'm really tired of having to have just 140 subscribers. If you could help me to get to 300, if you could get me, let me rephrase that. If you could get me to 250 subscribers, really, by the end of this year, that would be awesome. Because right now we are almost to 140. I lost 2 subscribers this week, and I think it's because of the vlog that I posted last week. I might have, of course, they probably just read the title instead of actually watching the vlog, because I talked through it extensively of why I was hesitant of activating it. I plan ahead. I'm not self-centered. I try not to be. I'm like an open book, but at the same time I'm not. I'm a contradicting woman. I'm an oxymoron, really. I am actually in the process of talking to my brother-in-law about getting a proper editing software so I can actually use the green screen behind me. I have an awesome... Let's talk that in next week's vlog. Because I'm thinking of doing a book reading every other week. Just to make sure that I have at least a little bit of break, even though I know it's been a long time since I've done a book reading to you guys. Anyways, I've been talking too much. Let's go ahead and do a recap of the previous video. But if you've already watched the previous video and you're just now tuning into this, go ahead and look for the yellow dot underneath for the YouTube time. Because that's pretty much... Because if you haven't noticed, I've been putting my ads right at the beginning of the reading and the end of the reading. So you should be able to find those spots easily. I'm going to try to make this recap real quick, because I need to get to the reading for you guys. It's been a while since I've done a reading, It's been almost 2 weeks. Or has it been longer than that? Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. In chapter 4, in part 4 really, we finished chapter 3 and then we read most of chapter 4. So the end of chapter 3 was basically about Trisha Payne. Trisha was basically telling her boyfriend that she has to leave, and he is just so passionate about her, and he loves her, and he pretty much convinces her of letting him come with her. And she has been, even though he convinced her, she's been hesitating, and she's like, no, I really don't want you to get hurt. But he convinces her, and she's like, but the minute there's any danger, you're heading home. She's a brave girl, and she does at times in the chapter admit that she needs help. And so in chapter 4 is about the final adventurer, the 4th member of the group, who is Macy Giardina. Now, if you're not familiar with the last name Giardina, you're not a Barbie follower. Anyways, oh man, I'm talking too much. In chapter 4, we get to learn about Macy Giardina. She's a jujitsu student, as also a bit of a master, sensei. She's a little bit of a sensei, even though I don't really explain that fully. And we also learn that she's a singer. Oh man, so many talents these women have. And she got to be a part of the performance with Amari and Trisha. Oh my gosh, Amari and Trisha and Macy gave this amazing performance that everyone absolutely loves. And Macy realizes that those three girls are probably going to end up on the same train. And they do, actually. Because we ended the video with... We ended the video with Macy bumping into... Oh, more like Sophia found Macy. Because Sophia still remembers those three things that the magician told her about. Handless instruments, turquoise, and marbles. I think it was. Yeah. So, it's pretty exciting news about that. Let's go ahead and start with the end of Chapter 4. I'm heading to Verol to master the skills of sword fighting, she replied. What about you, Sophia? I'm heading the same place, but to, continue my fashion design. Sophia felt a bit uncomfortable telling of her real journey. She still thought it ridiculous that the Enchantress predicted adventure. Fashion design? That's very cool. I've always had an eye for yellow fashion. It's my favorite color. She observed Sophia. You want to share a room? I actually reserved a bigger room so I could start the swordplay on my way there. I probably shouldn't. I have my own room. And besides, you might get weird effects if you're touched by certain items of mine. Oh, that's right, because she had the lavender whips, didn't she? Yeah, I would say the same of my sword. The Enchantress put some magic on it. Macy said reluctantly. Sophia winced and walked away. Wait, why'd you make that face? Where are you going, Soph? Uh-oh, did she just say Soph? Don't call me that! Only my best friend can, she hissed. She continued to walk away, but her curiosity got the best of her when she saw a turquoise dress going past her. She turned to watch Amari. Fine, whatever, Macy said, rolling her eyes. As she went to her sleeping car, she sung under her breath. I was living in a fairy tale, waiting for somebody to rescue me. She gasped when two women excitedly surrounded her. Amari recognized her singing immediately, and when she told Trisha, they hurriedly went to her. Are you the singer from D'autres Je Crois? They chorused. She stared at them in shock. Macy had to collect her thoughts before clearing her throat. How'd you know about that? She wondered hoarsely. I told you it was her. I'd never forget a voice like that, Amari said with a smile. This is Trisha, and I'm Amari. She's the violinist of our magnificent performance that the three of us did. Sophia didn't know what they were talking about, but she continued to eavesdrop. Oh my gosh, really? Then what I heard is true. That you both are going to Verol to be Musketeers? She squeaked. Trisha gasped. How'd you know all that? The violinist asked. Wait, you two are going to train there? Sophia spoke. They glanced toward her. She pointed at each woman while listing off two of the three signs. Handless instruments. Turquoise. She turned to Trisha. Then you must have marbles. Yeah, the Enchantress put magic on them. She insisted on it. She slowly spoke. Trisha then remembered her conversation with the Enchantress Viola. She enchanted your weapons too, didn't she? The three women nodded with surprise. Then we must be connected. What? The three chorused in confusion. Chapter 5. The Enchantress told me that my journey was altered somehow, Trisha said. What if yours was too? What if all of our journeys are supposed to collide? That makes sense, Sophia mused. What are you talking about? Amari asked the first adventurer. She narrowed her brows. I had a visit from someone today. He kept telling me to not trust anyone, Sophia explained. That my life was going to change in several ways I wouldn't expect. To keep my eyes and ears open for those 3 things I listed off. She raised a brow. Yeah? What Shlomo told you that? A wizard? Trisha said sarcastically. No, a magician, who coincidentally the Enchantress knows. Amari and Macy perked up when they heard that. You should have seen her. She tried to poker face it, but Kyle and I saw. She was pissed that he came into town. Why was this magician there? Macy asked. And why did he pick you? Why not one of us 3? Amari wondered. Sophia shrugged before Trisha scoffed. I'd love to stay and chat, but Jimmy is waiting for me. Who's Jimmy? Macy wondered, raising a brow. He's my boyfriend. Oh, how romantic, Amari said. A boyfriend tagging along on a daring adventure, danger every turn, and doing both things no boyfriend could on such a trip. Enough, Trisha said. The others laughed as she walked back to her room. Oh my gosh, do you know what your weapons can do? Sophia asked excitedly. Macy and Amari shook their heads. Why don't you 2 get them and come to my room? It's big enough to fit almost all 4 of us. Her new friends agreed and headed off. Within 10 minutes, the 3 of them were spread out in the room. Macy on her bed, Sophia leaning against the wall, and Amari sitting near the bed. They felt disappointed Trisha didn't come. It is a shame, Sophia said. Don't worry, she'll come, Amari said confidently. We showed each other our rooms after we first bumped into each other. I went to hers before coming here and told her what we were doing. Let's hope she does, Macy said. I'm actually a bit nervous to use the sword. What do you mean? I thought you used it for years, Sophia said. Macy shook her head. Nope, I just got it today. I'm a jiu-jitsu warrior, not a killer. Trisha heard that as she opened the door to Macy's room. That's close to what I said when Enchantress Viola gave me a bow and arrows, Trisha said. I use satin whips, Sophia spoke, showing her lavender whips. And I use marbles with a slingshot, Trisha continued. So what convinced you to join us? Macy asked, chuckling. Jimmy said I should, since we all have the same goal. And honestly, I kind of like hanging out with you. Booyah, Amari whispered. Sophia laughed at her. I use fans. She pulled them out to show her friends. And they're my favorite color, too. That caused them all to laugh. I think all of our weapons have our favorite color in them, Trisha said, showing her blue slingshot. Who wants to do... God fucking damn it. Who wants to spar with me? Macy teased as she pulled the sword from its sheath. She stepped forward, but in doing so, she sped across the room to her door. Wow, she whispered. That was too cool, Amari cried. Trisha and Sophia laughed. Maybe we should ask someone to be a guinea pig, Trisha suggested, being logical. Sophia agreed. Yeah,
we won't know what our weapons can do. Well, with the exception of Macy's, of course. We should find out what they can do.
Wow, this sounds exciting, Amari said. She whipped out one of her fans and gracefully whirled it around Sophia and Trisha.
Wait
one of them called out. They stood there, waiting and staring at her blankly. The two couldn't do anything for a full 5 minutes. Wow, that's crazy, Amari commented.
Yeah.
Well, we know what the fans do. Amari giggled before Sophia and Trisha could move again.
Second,
Trisha finished. She glanced around.
What happened?
My fan put you in a trance, which totally makes sense to me. Excitement filled her up even more. This is way too cool. You try, Trisha. Swing one of your marbles.
I don't know,
she said nervously. The others begged and pleaded. Before Trisha could, Sophia grew anxious. She pulled out a lavender satin whip and lightly snapped it at Macy. What?
Macy!
Trisha and Amari cried as she passed out. The three of them hurried to her. There was nothing for them to do, really. They would have to leave the sleeping car in order to fetch water, and no one wanted to leave her.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore,
Trisha said when Macy finally woke. The fourth adventurer slowly sat up.
We all seem to have powerful weapons. There's no need to test them out. Come on,
Macy and Sophia pleaded.
Aren't you the least bit curious about what your marbles can do?
Amari wondered. Trisha rolled her eyes before swinging a marble in her slingshot. When the marble flew, it bounced off the wall, hit a lamp, which turned it off automatically, and then bumped Amari. She gasped and stretched her arms out.
Hey! I can't see! Seriously, girls, I can't... Oh!
Amari bumped into the bed. Trisha helped her to Macy's bed. She sat down carefully.
Thanks, Trisha.
How'd you know it was me? Amari raised an arm.
You and Sophia are more careful and responsible than us. Plus, you step quickly.
That'll somewhat help with your archery and marble fighting, Macy noted. They conversed for a while, though Amari stayed quiet. She didn't realize how well she could hear without having to look. Amari heard everything. The tones they used while speaking, the way they moved, the noises Macy's room made, the slight rocking of their train car moving, and the silence of the train's speed. It amazed her how much she could hear, and it was a lot. With her improved hearing, Amari cocked her head with her brows narrowed. She heard something she knew the others didn't. Cautious, she slipped off the bed and put her ear to the floor.
What are you doing?
Trisha asked. The others opened their mouths, but Amari shushed them. She heard flickers of something, as well as light clanking and tinkling. That told her it had to be more than just train error.
Quick, hurry to your rooms, she called. Get your luggage, and Jimmy! We have to get off this train. What? But why?
Sophia squeaked. Everyone felt a jolt from the train car. Trisha widened her eyes as things connected in her mind.
It wasn't just our journeys affected,
Trisha said.
All the people on this train, their journeys are being altered right now. We have to help them,
Macy called over a loud screeching of metals sliding against each other.
First we have to save ourselves,
Amari cried out as her vision slowly came back. She blinked her eyes hard a few times.
Come on! Macy, get your bag and your sheet! We have to go!
Macy tied the sheath to her waist before wielding her sword and grabbing her bag. An idea popped in her mind. With a smile, she eyed her friends.
Whose room is closest?
Macy called. She saw Amari raise her hand.
I'll toss my bag out the window. After that, you all touch my back.
They stared at her as she tossed her traveling bag out an opened window.
You got any other brilliant ideas? Out of all our weapons, mine is the most necessary at the moment. Hurry, girls!
They obeyed as fast as they could. Macy stepped forward and was suddenly super speeding to Amari's room. Amari tossed her luggage out a window too. The others did the same when Macy sped to their rooms. She had difficulty though, since the train cars screeched as if halting, but wouldn't hold.
Let's go!
Sophia cried. And that is where I'm stopping. Major cliffhanger there. Oh man. I know that doing these cliffhangers sucks for you guys, but I know that is the best way to bring you back for the next video. Oh man, I am so excited. I am so excited to reading this book to you guys. I'm so happy. Oh, news by the way, I completely forgot to bring this up. So there was a contest going on here in my town, through something called Unbound. I forgot what the full title of the, festival is. It's Unbound, something. It's hosted by University of Missouri. And basically, there were two contests going on. The one I chose to enter was First Page Rodeo. First Page Rodeo is basically a contest for people who want, I guess, professionals, to check out their books. But the only thing you can enter is the first page of your book. The size of the font has to be 12, and it has to be single-spaced. The limitation is exactly first page, though. You can choose whatever font you want, but it has to be exactly one page. The size has to be 12 points, and it has to be single-spaced. I entered one of my books. The one I entered is called Not a Family Trait. It's actually one of my favorites because it's a ghost story that I wrote. I'm actually a really big fan of ghost stories, and I thought it was my turn to write one, especially since since two of the Nessus World books are kind of about ghosts. Well, one is about ghosts. The second book in the Nessus World series is just kind of like a subplot, really. I finally got a notification about the status of the entries, which I received an email of it yesterday. Unfortunately, they got like a ton of entries. And there was originally supposed to be 10. There was originally supposed to be 10 winners. But they realized that was a little too much considering there might not be enough time for them to go over them, for the 3 people who are supposed to be going over them during the festival. So, I'm assuming, they didn't tell us how many winners there are. I'm assuming it's going to be 5 instead of 10. But, the unfortunate thing is, my entry did not win. That just means, though, that I have to work extra hard for next year's competitions and for next year's contests. But, I did email back asking, I don't know if I used the right email address. I just hit reply to the email they sent me. But I did ask them what other contests and competitions they have, that go year round. Because they made it sound like that there are more, stuff that they do. So hopefully they'll respond. If not, then I need to find Unbound, and find out who I need to email. Maybe it's the same email that I send my entry for. I don't know. I'll try to find out. But I'm super psyched about this festival. I'm going anyways, just cause, who knows what these stories are about that won. I want to find out who beat my story, cause I know the first page of my book is pretty good. So, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. I hope you all enjoyed the book, and I hope you all enjoy my news. I will see you all in the next video, which will most likely be a vlog. So anyways, I love you all. Keep subscribing, keep watching. I love you. Thank you so much for subscribing me. Thank you so much for following me on my Twitter and all the other platforms, social accounts that I have. I am the Esperanza243 signing out. I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world.